I would like to start this video off by letting everyone know that there is value in community and building bonds and not letting apathy take over. Our empathy is valuable, but that's why we must protect it. We can't let the vampires, so to speak, of society drain us constantly. To protect our families, to protect ourselves, to protect peace, to protect our communities, we have to pick up the sword, but we don't glorify the sword. Love will always take us further, but that isn't a love that is given to our oppressors, to our abusers. So I just wanted to start with that there is no shame in fighting. Just know what you're fighting for and know the goals in mind. Good morning, noon, or night, everyone, whenever you're seeing this. Welcome to Serpent's Cauldron Tarot. My name is Silva, and today I wanted to speak about the Morrigan, who she is in mythology, and who she is to me, and the relationship that I've been building over these past, what has it been, 2 years? So, the Morrigan presides over transitions, change. She rules over kingship, bestowing rulership within the mythology. She comes from, well, I would say she is best known for her role in Irish mythology, or I don't want to say Celtic, because I know that can be kind of a vague term. I don't want to lump all of those cultures together, but within Ireland, she's known as the Morrigan, or the Great Queen. I personally feel, of course, that due to what she presides over and represents, of course, she far predates that particular, I guess, face or guise of her. But to me, like I said, sorry, my air just kicked on. To me, she is the embodiment of the oceans, the land itself, the winds that carry change, the perpetual motion that keeps us alive, really. So, with that being said, I also want to add that I don't know anything. I just have my limited perspective, and I'm just sharing it. So I'm not here to, be right or claim that I have any kind of answers that anyone else doesn't. So I only bring that up because I know that's common with people claiming to have gnosis and all of this. I don't get into that. Um, I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy wanting to express his spirituality and get into mediumship. If you hear any noise, I live next to a highway, so sorry about that. So, I also want to add that we as tarot readers, or I guess whatever manner of magician, witch, sorcerer, whatever name or title people hold, at best, we're meant to be a bridge. We're not a door or a gateway. We don't have that authority. If anyone tries to convince you that they have that authority, just go the opposite way. That's not what we do. We want to encourage growth and for others to live their own sovereignty and explore their own spirituality in a way that they deem fit and is comfortable for them without fear-mongering and self-hatred. So if you would like to get to know the Morrigan yourself, why not reach out? No deity is guaranteed to say yes, but I would say it's much better to, one, display courage and speak to them yourself, and two, perhaps just be told no, and that fear is out of the way as well, and you can go forward with knowing, like, oh, there's something here. I don't know if it's real, but maybe there's something to whatever particular form of spirituality you feel drawn to. So I'll stop rambling on that. I just had to go on that little tangent. Now, how did I meet the Morrigan? I was reviewing my footage and I see I'm like constantly like fidgeting my hands. I'm an artist and I've had a bit of carpal tunnel, so I'm just kind of happy to have feeling back in my fingertips. So I'm always kind of touching my hands. But anyway, how in the world did I even meet the Morrigan? Well, for starters, I decided to leave Christianity. It never really served me, and I just got tired of the dogma and fear and just praying and bowing. It's just, I was done with it. I felt like there was so much more to the world other than what I had been told up until that point. I'm from the United States of America, and it's very much a Protestant Baptist, very hard Christian, fire and brimstone, fear-mongering type of indoctrination. And I was just sick of it. I was sick of it. I started to observe how it affected my people, my family, and just my people in general, my cultural group, Black, African American, even the diaspora as a whole, everyone, other cultures as well. I see what it does, and I don't like it, without going off on another tangent. But after I made that choice to leave that particular faith or institution, I started to just kind of open my mind up to other things. I felt called to, I guess, the dead. So I made an altar to Santa Muerte. Within that same night, Santa Muerte came to me in a dream and left a tarot card on my bed. At that time, I still have the Ethereal Visions Tarot, and the tarot card was in that style. And on that tarot card was the name Morrigan. I think it was Morgan or Morrigan. You know, it was close enough that I got the message. So I was like, oh, okay. This is happening. This is real. And I didn't know what to do. I was like, I'm not Irish. I don't know anyone or anything close to that culture. I wonder why she would find interest in me. And ultimately, it comes to do with, well, just who we are as a person, and also death. As I said before, she resides over transitions and change, and death takes many forms. We have our physical death, we have metaphorical death, metaphysical death. And I had a lot of lingering, lingering energies within me. A lot of regret, a lot of anger over, I guess, betrayal, trauma, not really sure how to carry my empathy, not sure how to set boundaries, abuse, physical and psychological. I could go on and on. You know, we all go through these things, but we have to know, we have to let it go and process it. I don't want to just say let it go, but process it in a healthy way. And I wasn't doing any of that. On top of just juggling mask after mask after mask, wanting to please the people that I loved, and not wanting to disappoint them, etc. I kind of became, just addicted to the idea of the person I was supposed to be, and not who I truly was, or who I knew I could be or should be, if that makes sense. Outside of that initial dream, I didn't want to get into the specifics, because I don't want anyone comparing what may or may not happen to them with what happened to me. I don't want expectation to creep in and, someone say, well, isn't this supposed to happen, or isn't this? Trust me, you will know. The only way you won't know is if you are being, willfully ignorant. And even then, the signs will persist. So, for me, things had gotten to a point where I'm like, okay, this isn't something that's just going to go away. This is serious. And from that point on, it just started with just speaking, giving, offering, even just like tea or incense. Incense destroy my sinuses, so I just stick to tea and candles, and time and reflection. and just actively trying to be better. Actively taking the steps to heal. Actively, whether that might be telling people off, setting boundaries, honoring yourself. In honoring yourself, you honor your life. And as I said, with the Morrigan representing life and the world, through honoring that, you honor her. Because what's the point in giving all of these offerings if we ultimately don't, don't improve our life and ourselves and step into our own power, the power that has been, well, they attempt to strip it away, but it's always within us, no matter what. These dogmatic religions and people that abuse us and these systems in place to strip everything away from us, our time, our identity, our will. But even with all of that, they still can't strip away that, that deep, I guess, spark or flame that resides in the depths of each person. They can only distract you and, disillusion you. So now, after around 2 years, give or take, I can honestly say that my life is much, much, much better. But it took work. And I kind of fought that work along the way. Just last year, I think I cried more than I've cried my entire life. I've had more mental ups and downs, fighting change and understanding all of the ways I was clinging to this old rotting version of myself, this old rotting version of life that had kept me company. It had kept me, or I had understood it as keeping me company, keeping me sane, and perhaps it did, but that time had long passed. And I had to face the music. So these past couple of years have been a lot of fun and a lot of work, a lot of ugly and arduous work. A work that's never truly done because we're always living life. There's always a new challenge. There's always a new obstacle. There's always a new way we have to adapt to change. And Morrigan helps us navigate these changes, external and internal. We are dynamic beings. We're always growing and shifting, changing with time, always becoming. And this is okay. This is beautiful. This is life and death in tandem. That's and that's the beauty of being. Whatever being is, that's the phenomenal thing. But with change comes growing pains, and it's okay to heal through those growing pains. You shouldn't have to feel guilty about healing, about taking a deep breath, about focusing on you. There's stationary rest, like, just curling up in bed or just crying or, treating yourself. And then there's active rest, active healing, like physical therapy, the stuff that's good for you but is uncomfortable, you know what I mean? And we have to find the balance between all of these things and just, straight up going forward, taking leaps, taking risks, and assessing the situation, being observant. I do want to add, for those that struggle with self-esteem, like myself, the hard work or the harsh work that comes with integrating certain lessons and the more hidden parts of ourselves you don't want it to become a self-imposed prison. Almost masochistic in a sense, where you're putting yourself through, all of these trials just for the sake of putting yourself through a trial. You know what I mean? I wrote that internal work is eternal, so why rush it? Personal growth is not a finish line. It's okay to go outside and get some sunlight. And I really want to drive that home, because I know within the certain spiritual spaces, either it's all sunlight or it's all, staying in the dark. And we are both of those things. Neither is wrong. You just have to have balance. And balance is hard. I didn't want balance. I wanted to stay in the dark, but it's time to go outside. Don't distract yourself from life by kind of tricking yourself into this circle of almost self-hatred, like, religious self-flagellation, where they're like, I've sinned and I gotta, abuse myself. That's not why we left. That's not why we're here. So when you're used to kind of these cycles of oppression, whether being hard on yourself or others, abusing you, we can just kind of get used to that, that manner of being, but it's not healthy. So I just wanted to add that don't get too caught up in that, because some people glorify it. And again, these things aren't bad. They aren't evil. You need to look at yourself in totality, but just don't develop a narrow view of yourself. So I think for now that would be a good introduction to who the Morrigan is, and some of the things that she can help us with. I want to end off with why. I think I brought that up, like why. And I see, I don't want to trigger anyone, but the Morrigan is a mother to me and to many people, although others don't see her like that. Some categorize her as a quote-unquote dark goddess. I don't see it that way. I see her as just as warm and loving as any other goddess or god, but everyone has their own opinions and their own perspectives, and not to invalidate them, but this is my and many other people's point of view. Ultimately, these phases that we go through, these changes, help us live a fulfilling life. It is inconceivable to us how much death and destruction and hurt and regret and all of these emotions that she has to process from us and see from her children whether you deem herself, whether you deem yourself, a child of hers or not. She is who she is. She does what she does. Ultimately, when we take our last breath and move into another plane of existence, she wants to see us say, yeah, I did that. To say, yeah, I don't have any regrets. I lived a full life. She knows your potential. She knows what you're capable of. She's known you for a very, very, very long time. So she doesn't want to see you sell yourself short again and again and again. There's more personal things I could get into, but I don't think that would be appropriate for this video. But I wrote down that don't glorify the sword. Love will take us much farther. When we see images of the Morrigan, it can seem like there's this glorification of battle and war. And in a sense, yes, but it's not it's in the sense that conflict is unavoidable, no matter what you're doing in your life or where you are. You can rise to the occasion, or you can crumble under pressure. To see your life how you would want it, you have to rise to the occasion. You have to pick up that, maybe literal, or if you're living somewhere that's constantly under attack, or it may be a metaphysical sword, the sword of the mind, your gifts, your wit, to see your life through to completion. She incites us to take up rulership and kingship in our own life, or queenship in our own life. And to not let the forces that seek to constrict us and belittle us win. I asked her how she wanted me to conclude this video, and I got the death card. This is from the Morrigan's Oracle deck, phenomenal deck. It is not that expensive. I encourage anyone to pick it up. It's almost a little picture book of different parts of Irish mythology. And the guidebook is amazing as well. But I pulled this death card, and oftentimes we can focus on, the death, the skulls, the crows, but not incorporate what that means. And here we have the child being born. The end is the beginning. From death is new life. Without death, what is life? Without transition, what would life be if we were just the same? Always. So if you've made it this far into the video, I would just like to say thank you. I'm very aware that I don't speak the fastest. I'm working on it. I just like to get my thoughts out clearly without having to do a bunch of takes and feeling like I'm bombarding people with information, saying a whole lot of nothing. But if you would like to see more content like this, please subscribe, like the video, leave a comment if you like, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day.